Welcome in, everyone. We are back with Jesse. New sound unlocked. We are chatting about Canada's Drag Race Season 2. This is the little middle bits.
Oh.
Was that not it?
No, that's fine. That just wasn't what I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
Not the middle bits.
Not the middle bits. I was playing Fallout 76, which I don't know if you ever got into the Fallout series, but I contracted a disease from this like tick, and it said bone worms. And
Not the bone worms.
Not the bone worms.
Not the
It was
bone
so instinctual to just shout it out. And I was streaming too. So like I immediately did the thing and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. That was just a trigger response. Last time we asked a very important question. Who is Amanda Brugel?
Amanda Brugel is her PR team is gonna reach out to me. I'm gonna get a cease and desist.
It'll be like when Meatball got a cease and desist from Oprah. It'll be like, stop throwing bread at everyone. She was not on season 3. We both couldn't remember.
Oprah
I fact checked
or Meatball?
recently. Both of them were not on season 3.
Damn.
Oprah was on season 5. If you want to remember that.
You know what? I don't know if I do.
I know you do. We also
Somewhat.
chatted. We also chatted about the first design challenge, the clown rusical, and Ocean's fringy shoes, and Screech, the murder mystery whodunit. By the way, Jesse, who is Amanda Brugel?
Who is Amanda Brugel in this world?
Who is she? And what's a good Amanda Brugel performance? I still don't know.
The jury's still out.
It's completely out, and I don't think we'll ever find out.
Well, because did they say like, well, because Amanda's like this, and like, because I feel like they only said what they didn't like about it, but they did say what it could have been.
Yeah, and I feel like even she did not know who she was. She was like, who am I in this
Maybe
moment?
she had such an adverse response to it because it sent her into a spiral of like, who am I? What does make me tick? What's funny about me? And she was struggling to draw a I just had a stroke. Amanda Brugel, she's putting a spell on me.
From deep up in the heart of Canada. Do you remember when Merle during the season 7 challenge was like, you as Merle Ginsburg? I didn't see it. That was Amanda.
You as Amanda Brugel? I didn't see it.
These little middle bits of this season are quite interesting.
Tantalizing bits.
Very tantalizing bits. And I feel like the season heats up with drama from this point forward.
Yeah, the girls start getting a little more activated.
Yeah.
This is when the honeymoon phase wears off.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts getting a little more dicey.
And Eve is like pressing everyone's buttons at this point.
Eve is acting as we know her on Twitter.
Just causing issues and fires.
I don't think I mentioned this yet. That's my favorite thing about Eve. As someone who doesn't have Twitter,
Right.
but whenever I hear about Drag Race drama, I always see Candy Muse and Eve in the replies.
It's always one of them.
I love it. Her finger is on the pulse.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's a US girl, it's Candy Mousse, and if it's anyone else, it's Eve.
It's always Eve.
She's on it. Eve is on it.
If there's a problem, it's Eve. 6,000? 5,000? What number is she?
Oh my gosh, it's like Agatha all along, but Eve.
It was Eve all along.
Eve all along. Just need to like hold it out.
It was Eve.
All along. Ew.
What was that? I gotta check out my sleeve. We are starting out today's episode with the Snatch Game.
Wow, starting hot.
It's early in comparison to other
Can
seasons.
I say, knowing Canada,
Canada.
Knowing Canada. I think this is actually one of the better Canadian Snatch games, isn't it?
Thank you.
It's probably the better Canadian Snatch game.
Thank you.
This and like, I think the middle three
Mm-hmm.
are probably better, and I think it's currently a sandwich
Mm-hmm.
where 1 and 5 are the bread,
Yes.
and like
Of the
I
shit
think
sandwich?
yeah, and I think this is the meat, and I think 3 and 4 are cheese, like cheese and lettuce.
See, okay. Controversially, I feel like this one is cheese. I feel like 4 is lettuce, purely because of Melinda and Venus. I feel like the meat is in 3. Marie Curie, Khloe Kardashian. Those were such good performances.
Wait, who did Khloe Kardashian?
What was it, Chloe? I think that was Fierce, wasn't it? She was like, "Hello, no, it's Court."
Oh,
She hung
I
up
was
on
trying to-
me.
oh my gosh, yeah. Oh,
She 3 was it for me.
Marie Curie won, right?
Yeah, she had the
Ah,
tentacles
yeah.
that grew out of her. Her hair was falling apart.
Can I just say I loved you as Marie Curie? That's you right now.
did.
But was it Marie Curie? How do you say?
Because it was Giselle. She has that
Yeah.
very heavy French Canadian accent. I loved Giselle Lullaby.
I do. I feel like she's a slept-on woman.
Absolutely, she's a queen.
Lullaby, slept on.
She's like Jigglypuff. The conspiracy
She does
theories
drag and
begin.
everybody falls asleep. She starts painting and the girls.
Already out.
Yeah.
She's in the back putting on her mug, and the girls are passed the hell out. She's like, "Well, I guess I'll go first."
Do you know what I know we're not talking about her season, but do you
That's
know what I
fine.
think is also unappreciated?
Ooh.
They never talked about, because I thought it was so funny, when they did the makeup palettes, which was such a great challenge.
Mhm.
Hers was all like profanity, like swear oriented, and all the shades were blue. It was all too blue. And they didn't the judges didn't say anything about the palette being blue. And I feel like, because if it's Michelle, if they talk about anything, she's like, a little too blue.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was funny.
So Snatch Game, we are at 9 girls, which is a lot.
Yeah. Do you think 8 is good, 4 and 4? Because this is like a 4 and 5 on the bottom row, and sometimes that can lead to bottom row shenanigans.
Absolutely.
When it's 5 on the bottom, it can lead to the romper room fuckery, as Latrice Royale called it.
Nonsense. You know, I think my sweet spot with Snatch Game is 7.
3
That's
and
what I'm
4.
gravitating towards. Yeah, 4 at the
Wow.
top, 3 at the bottom. Because it just feels like such a cohesive thing. A lot of the filler queens have been eliminated by then. So there's a higher chance that it won't be as cringe.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like Holland 1 was 7, wasn't it? I remember there were 4 at top, 3 at the bottom, if I'm not mistaken. And that was really lovely. There have been a couple other Snatch Games where it's been 7. And
Well, and
just
also
like
it's not
that.
as long-winded having to like try and fit like 2 answers from every girl.
Right. So when it's this big, sometimes it's like, eh. But we started with the reading challenge. I did not write too much down, but you talked about how the fans were referring to Gia as Gigi, and Adriana does. She says Gigi not as good. That's where the rumors started. She started them herself.
She started going on Reddit and talking about that to make her read land.
As he
when-
devil
and
by evening.
She might be a bit of a she devil.
That was so iconic. Isis also tells Eve to never be ashamed of who she is because that's her parents' job.
Hateful. Hateful, rotted evil.
That burned me from like 4 years in the past. It was like Sharknado, the time traveling one. The shark just traveled through time to bite me.
It retrieved your wig when
Yes.
you're from a different universe.
And it brought it back to
Time
2021.
traveling wig.
Right. Sisterhood of the Time Traveling Wigs. And I thought it was like decently funny. There was nobody like super standout. I don't know if you remember anything from it.
I struggle to remember the reads from the reading challenge while I'm still like watching the episode.
You're still
like I'll get to
perceiving
the
it.
maxi and I'm like, what were the reads that episode?
Yeah.
Especially nowadays. I mean, I know this was a couple years ago, but
Mhm.
nowadays, like the reading challenges are so much more clunky because
Mhm.
it's harder to find rare, new, fresh reads.
Right.
Things that like stick with you and like feel fresh.
And burn.
Yeah, because a lot of times it's a lot of the same regurgitations, especially because we also have reading or nope, we also have roasts so
Mm,
frequently now on the
yeah.
show that insult comedy is just a lot more common.
Right.
And it's a lot more cyclical, I would say.
Yeah.
But I not to say that these girls suck. I just think it's like a problem in the culture. It's like
Yeah.
I don't think it's like the same like come up with a fresh moment
Mm-hmm.
and make it like lyrical and fun
Yeah.
and like it's not what she used to be.
No, not at all. And I think it might be even a problem of not knowing each other that well to be able to construct something interesting, maybe. We're going to run out of anecdotes by the time we get to like Drag Race 15, 16. But I remember one of my drag sisters read the fuck out of one of the other ones. I feel like it was in the group chat. And they said, put some sand in your pussy so the crabs can feel at home. And I think about that all of
That
these
is,
years later.
do you know what I think the thing is also though? I don't know why that reminded me. The sand pussy crabs. I feel like probably fear of online response too
Completely.
is like I don't want to say anything too hateful and get the fans mad at me.
Right. And then get a nasty
Even if
DM.
it's funny, because I'm sure Jujubee would have gotten hate for some of the shit she used to say,
Oh, yeah.
even though it was iconic.
This is going to be so old news by the time this airs, but did you hear about RuPaul posting the video
The slap.
slapping Tyra?
Girl crazy.
The slap heard around the world.
Slap. That's like one of the only times ever she's ever like responded or acknowledged anything that's really happening with the contestants outside of the show ever.
She even stayed quiet during the bomb threat of DragCon.
Yeah, she like, well, yeah, she's just never really talked about Tyra.
Mm-hmm.
So for her to even just do that, I know people are like, she should have said more, which I get. It was an atrocious thing. It should be denounced. But like, the fact that it was even acknowledged by her is pretty crazy.
It's a big move from Miss Paul. She doesn't consult.
And just to post that is so psychotic.
Crazy.
Just slapping her and laughing.
Right. To like have one of her interns dig up that video so she could post it.
Can you just shed that clip down for me and post it on the tick? Post on the Tic Tac.
She like leans down the hall and is like, "Hey, Lawrence Chaney, can you find that video from season 2 of me slapping that one girl?"
Lawrence is her intern.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
Is that
my
why
thought.
she was in the workroom on US?
For multiple reasons, I think. I think one was that she was her intern, but two, I think Lawrence was also there so that Rue could have like 2 or 3 more hours with Raven. She was like, 3 hours not enough. We got to get 5. We got to get 5 in this.
I need
bitch."
more time to send out the Scottish woman. Is she Scottish or is she Irish?
She's Scottish.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
Ellie Diamond. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because Ellie Diamond.
Because Ellie Diamond. Did you see the video where Trixie was talking about how she was going to perform in front of the housewives, but she couldn't be there, so she said, "Send the other
Lyric.
Trixie."
I watched that episode of Housewives because I saw her. I was like, oh my god, it's Lyric. And for a second, I was like, damn, is that Trixie? She looks so skinny. I was like, no, it's Lyric. But it nearly unclockable, and I think it's so funny.
Yeah, that was what Rue did. She was like, "Send out the other RuPaul." And then she like busts out the bagpipes and it's like, "All right, Rue, I got it."
You think RuPaul looks in the mirror? She's like, yeah, I look like Lawrence Chaney.
That one song from 12, The Queen, in the mirror, in the mirror. And it's Rue looks and it's Lawrence.
Please.
That's my new headcanon. So before we get into the Snatch Game, I want to say, after all this derailing, Pythia is such an interesting character on Drag Race. At least so far, where I'm at. She stays in her lane. She's quiet. She doesn't get involved in anything. But as soon as the challenge is there, she is on. And so present and so aware. And those girls don't usually do well on mainline Drag Race. They're usually read for being too quiet.
Yeah.
Because Rue's, watching in the mirror as Lawrence Chaney watching the girls.
Yeah.
And she usually gets mad at them for like not being more vocal, even if they're good in the challenges.
Yeah.
I find that fascinating because we don't get characters like that last as long as Pythia does. She goes to top 3, right?
Perhaps.
I think I remember her going pretty far.
And it would be curious to watch her judged by Rue and Michelle in a couple years.
Oh yeah, for Global.
Yeah. But I don't know if she was a theater kid or like what that is of just like being able to turn on like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. She's so chilling in her lane, but she always delivers. Like even things like the musical challenge episode 2, she's such a sleeper.
She was so quiet, and then she was like, "I'm a clown."
And her in this, well, we're gonna get to her in this
As
Snatch
Grimes,
Game.
she was so active and big, but then in the workroom, she's just like, "Tee, they're arguing, but I'm just gonna sit here and work on my thing."
Yeah, I'm Greek. Huh? Do you see her booth at DragCon?
No,
So cute. I'm gonna pull it up while we talk. It was so Queen of Branding.
babe,
Bam.
babe, babe. That was what I took away from this Snatch Game. Okay, so our characters are, as we talk about Pythia, she's doing Grimes.
Yes.
It was really smart. And I'm so glad that Brooke is smart because I think she understood it.
Yeah. I feel like she made Brooke laugh the hardest with her answer, honey, this is the apocalypse, baby. And I talked about this when we were talking about season 1.
Yes.
Kiana, honey, this is Christmas, baby.
Yes. I screamed.
And so the fact that Brooke remembered that, I guess that had an impact on them as Canadians, to the point that her saying that, like, Brooke immediately knew what she was talking about, and that like sent her to another dimension. And they keep referencing that because I feel like another girl in a couple seasons says something else, like, honey, this is blah blah blah, baby.
Yeah, someone in 4 did it.
But
I don't remember who it was, but one of them did, and you told me. You were like, that's a Kiara reference.
it's a Kiara by way of Pythia reference.
Yes.
But honey, this is the apocalypse, baby. And that lispy
so
voice,
funny.
I think about it so much. Okay, I found it.
Oh, okay.
So she went into the Greek. First of all, looking gorgeous.
Yo.
Looking like she's cut out of a scene from
Whoa,
Hercules.
that's
Look at the
so
wig.
cool. The wig is incredible. Whoa. What? That is so cool.
So it's branded for those who can't see. For the Patreon, no. There's no there's no recorded element.
There's a YouTube.
She has a Greek bar tavern, so it's Pythia's Taverna, but
Whoa.
the menu is her schedule.
Stop.
So
I
it's
love
ribbon
that.
cutting ceremony, Queen's Walk, touch up with Raven, meet and Greek all weekend at booth
Meet and
B49.
Greek.
Love it.
That's so good.
Meet and Greek.
I'm very enamored by her right now. It's so far. Like, I don't know what caused her to not win, but I'm very enamored by her. I gotta say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I also wrote that what you said in my notes as well because that was so good. Kimora is doing Leslie Jones. Starts by calling Brooke White RuPaul. I have to ask you, and I'll be asking you a few times during this segment, who did it better, Heidi or Kimora?
Oh, I'm going to say Heidi.
I feel Heidi as well. She had that look so perfect from when she was there just a couple weeks before.
Yeah.
She had the energy.
I think Heidi had the joy of Leslie Jones a little more than Kimora did.
Yeah.
I think Kimora's was a more like...
It was a bit subdued.
It was a bit subdued. I'm trying to think of what comedian she more was giving. It was almost giving a little like Wanda Sykes, like a little insult comedy, like edge. Whereas like with Heidi's, she played into more of the like super fan of Drag Race, happy to be there, just like shooting the shit, having a good time kind of vibe.
I agree.
Whereas I feel like this Leslie Jones is like very, was she on SNL? Because this feels like characters that I have seen her play, but not her herself. That's what I mean.
Right.
Is like these are characters I definitely seen Leslie Jones like cast as or like doing in skits.
I totally hear that.
This is not like who I would describe Leslie Jones the human being to be. But maybe this is a specific character that I'm not aware of, and I'm just talking out my ass.
I mean, we both do that in our own way. It's our podcast. We can say what we want. I feel like she was really flirty, which I appreciated, but I again, maybe that's something that I'm not super aware of. But I mean, when you had that cute little snack of a guy, what was his name? Bowie something? With
Bo and Yang? Wait, no.
Not Bo and Yang. He's on a different season.
Connor Jessup?
Is that what his name was? No. It was the guy that was actually in Snatch Game. He wasn't a judge. He was like Bowie something. He had those beautiful eyebrows, that gorgeous smile.
Oh.
Just a beautiful man.
My husband.
And then Isis did La Veneno, who I now know because of España.
España.
And now I'm aware of, I've done some research about La Veneno. I want to speak my truth. My truth is my tea. This was boot nasty.
Okay, and people think it's hilarious, and I won't say anything.
I will. She broke character at the very beginning, and not even like starting her first question. It was literally her intro. She broke character. It was like, and this accent is bad too. I immediately was like, girl,
She
hell?
she did kind of immediately like cheat out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It was weird for
It was
me.
funny in like a self-deprecating way.
Sure.
I remember people thinking it was quite funny.
I was so just bored by it all. As soon as she broke character, I'm like, okay, well,
Not
there
into
goes
it.
the acting. The acting of it all. Kendall did Kris Jenner,
Yes.
calls Brooke Ellen. That was really all that I remembered. It was a kind of unmemorable, but her mannerisms were great.
What can we call Brooke other than Brooke on this episode of Snatch Game? RuPaul, Ellen,
Blair St. Clair. Okay.
Bindi Irwin.
But if we get Kendall and was it Kimora? No, it was Gia. Gia Gum. And if we get Fierce in a room, we got half the Kardashians. Oh, and then get Trinity in there.
Oh my god.
We got half the Kardashian family in there.
Oh my god. We could do a revival of the Kardashian musical.
And it'll be better because everyone will be playing the right roles that they actually look like. Suki did Yoko Ono. Now, okay, I have to say, I know of Yoko from like random TV show things that I've watched talking about her life and her existence, and she is a fucking weirdo. She is very much like Suki played her, and I feel like Suki was too smart and too literal.
Well, yeah, it was a little too cerebral.
Right. And so it lost a lot of its funniness just on like what Snatch Game is supposed to kind of lowball. But I thought she was funny as in you're nailing the wackadoo-ness of this character.
She needed to be more by the way of like Katya's Bjork.
I fully thought the same thing.
Because I'm like, who's someone? I think you just need to be inherently wacky to play her, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Suki's a little too restrained to be that bombastic.
Yeah, like if you're wanting to play her that way, because like I'm also thinking of videos of her just like randomly screeching on the microphone, like while they're singing with what's his name, Chuck Berry, and he's just like is horrified. Like
she should have just gone crazy.
Yeah, I think she should have just gone like crazy banshee.
But during the walkthrough, that's what she was doing. So I was so certain that she would be funny.
Yeah, but then she ended up just playing her more like autobiographical.
It was Nymphia doing what was
Jane Goodall?
Jane Goodall.
Yeah.
Like if you know who
The
Jane
Life
Goodall
and
is.
Times.
Yeah. Like if you know Jane Goodall, you're like, that's a damn good impression. But like if you don't, you're like, I don't understand why this is supposed to be funny.
Okay. Here's a concept. Do you think they would have been funnier if they had switched characters?
With who?
Them two and
Oh.
and Nymphia Wynn did Yoko Ono. I actually think Nymphia would have been really funny as Yoko Ono.
She could have been funny
like
in that.
replace her speaking monkey with like screeching.
Yes.
And then Suki as freaking Jane Goodall. I think that just goes to prove that Jane Goodall makes no sense for anyone because I don't see it for Nymphia and I don't see it for Suki. Nymphia really only chose her because of the banana thing. Huh?
Totally.
Monkeys and bananas.
Monkeys and bananas.
Well, she should have just done Josephine Baker at that point.
She could have been what's her name from All Stars 4, the judge.
Oh,
talking about Josephine
I
Baker.
thought you were gonna say she could have been whoever.
I meant the club kid lady.
The flat bananas.
Could have
I
been
was
her.
thinking of
Uh-oh.
season 1 of España of in the acting challenge. What's the name of the woman who won? Queen Carmen Ferrara
Carmen?
gagging on that banana
Oh my
as a corpse,
God.
like choking
I
a
would
banana.
love to see that.
My brain's mush. Anyways,
That's
I'm so
fine.
sorry.
You know, with Suki's fashion brain, I wonder if she could have made like Anna Wintour funny.
Totally. Someone, yeah, some sort of like designer, editor, something like that. A
Totally.
model.
Gia did Jim Carrey
As Ace Ventura. This like gives me social anxiety.
Oh, it stresses me out. It was like fine as an SNL skit, but not really Snatch Game. She almost did Anna Faris. And the way that she did her walkthrough, where she was like, oh, wow. I'm like, that is so funny. If you had just done that, that would have been fucking hilarious.
I wonder if she was worried about being too similar to Rachel.
Oh, maybe.
Because I think it would have eaten harder without Rachel there. But I think
Totally.
Ace was a better alternative in that context.
What do you think about moving around the set?
She wouldn't have done it with RuPaul.
Oh, no.
I feel that. I feel like if RuPaul was there, I don't think any of them ever get up when RuPaul's there.
No.
Most they'll do is stand up, but like...
She would have stood up to get out of her chair and the laser would have hit right between her nose and she would have been like, oops.
She would have
never
gone too
mind.
close to RuPaul and she would have seen the crew rushing her.
Yes. Like coming up
The
near
cameras go
president.
down.
Diva down, diva down. Protect RuPaul. And then
Do we have eyes on RuPaul?
who has eyes on RuPaul? We got Eve doing Bernie Sanders. That look was so good.
The look was perfect.
The mask, the freaking gloves, the jacket, but that hairline was a little rough.
I think the illusion was the best part because I don't think
yeah.
Bernie's a funny choice.
No, that was such an odd one.
And I have my Bernie 2020 t-shirt.
Yeah.
Love that.
Clock that tea.
Clock that tea. But I don't think he's a good choice.
No. I don't
As
think
much
so
as I love that man, I don't think he's a good choice.
Politicians are not a good choice. They're not funny.
I honestly think Kamala could be funny. Like
Oh,
I think there are women who
sure.
can be funny.
Sure.
Okay, let me say this. I don't like male politicians
Yes.
in Drag Race. We already have them everywhere else.
Yeah.
Don't bring him in a Drag Race.
I know I've mentioned many times I don't want to see a Food Network person, but I think if we're going to do a politician or a politician adjacent, Barbara Bush could be so funny.
I'm all for dragging women in
Yeah.
politics, not in real life, but for Snatch Game.
Yeah.
Do Nancy Pelosi and break your hip trying to like give the answer, like, like give something. Be Marjorie Taylor Greene and be that troll.
My God. That would actually be very funny. Was it Baga did what is her
The
name?
Iron Lady,
Margaret Thatcher.
But then even also like, oh, you haven't gotten there.
Oh, spoilers.
Philippines, we see some great political choices. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
I didn't tell you. Jake and I have a Roku, and there's a Drag Race Universe channel.
Oh, yes.
We randomly landed on that one night while just bored scrolling through the Roku, and he was like, "Oh, look." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "It's Drag Race." And I'm like, "I haven't seen this. I don't know if I should wait for Jess." It was the makeover challenge that Miss Jade So was in.
Oh my God.
And there was that old
They were
dude.
so old that episode.
But there was that one person who was like only 40 or something.
Yeah, but then the other one was like 90.
Yeah, and the one that like I don't know which queen it was because I was just struggling to like pay attention to it all because I was in the middle of something.
Yeah.
She goes, "Okay, so here's what we're gonna do," and this old frail lady is like, no, hold on, I got it. Puts on the big ass heels and just like guides her through the workroom on how they're gonna walk. And like, this diva is powerful. She's like 99 years old over here, looking like she's gonna fall apart. It was fierce. It was sickening.
Yeah, that is honestly one of my favorite episodes. That makeover, like when I got to the runway, I was literally just like crying over like how like good everyone looked.
Yeah.
It was. Did you get to the actual runway?
We finished the runways and then we turned it off because we had stuff to do and Jake went to go shower.
Yeah, the oldest one, the one in the gold metallic with Ovi Cunt is her name.
Okay.
I literally was like, I can't believe how beautiful and ethereal this person looks right now.
Yeah.
But they all really looked freaking
looked
amazing.
great.
It was crazy.
I was impressed. So, Adriana does Sofia Vergara. Who did it best? Her or Cynthia? Not Cynthia Doll, not Cynthia Kiss. Cynthia Mis Amores Cuckoo.
And it's funny because I feel like these performances were so similar.
Yeah.
They were so the same coded, which is I have no character.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be a little bit of an airhead.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't
with
funny.
boobs.
With big
and
tits.
Honey, this is breast baby.
Cynthia saying we need fashion tape. I'm not kidding, people. Fashion tape was great. That was brilliant.
I feel like Sofia Vergara is a funny woman, but but it's because she's a funny woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, okay, how do I say this? Not that I think Cynthia or Adriana have this mindset, but I feel like there's a general mindset that Sofia Vergara, like, being funny is in the same realm as someone like Cardi B being funny.
100%.
Enough said. Whereas like Sofia Vergara is just like, she's a really funny, clever woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that people don't respect enough that no, she's funny because she's funny.
Yeah.
And just if you're doing an accent, that's not funny. Or like if you're doing an impression of her, that's not funny. But like she is like a comedian.
Yeah. You know what? I think it does kind of harm a lot of the Latina queens, and I can say this as someone who is Latino, is there's not a lot of women that are represented that you can riff off of. Obviously, like in Spain, in Mexico, there are plenty of women, but they might be too out of your frame of reference. So when you think like, who's an immediate English speaking celebrity who's also Latina that I could play, like Cynthia and Adriana probably thought with their heavy accent, who do they pick?
And further in their defense, that's someone that the general public is like, it's funny.
Right.
And like when they're, like you said, like in the general population, they're so, because I mean, obviously I also appreciate when a queen just picks someone from their culture. That's like, I don't care if you know who this
like
is.
La Veneno.
Like, yeah, they're like, I know who this is. The people who know who this is know who this is. And that's enough for me. But then also there's sometimes the pressure of like, well, you want to try and do a celebrity that you feel like at least RuPaul will know, or like the judges will know, general audience will know.
So that they'll laugh.
And then narrowing it down further to who's funny, that makes it even harder because it's like there's such a small pool of like Latin women in comedy that we make space for. And so like, well, there's Sofia Vergara that people like to laugh at. Yeah. Kind of like what I was saying earlier is like people don't appreciate that she's just like a clever, funny woman. But I think like a lot of like the general public is just like, oh, she's funny.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, there's not enough space for like a lot of different women to have that same
impact.
Yeah.
Cultural impact. Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, thinking about it, a lot of people have wanted to do Miranda Sings, which that has aged so badly in the last like year or so. So I hope that never gets brought up ever again. Yeah. But I'm surprised none of the girls have ever tried to do Angela Johnson's Bon Qui Qui.
Oh,
because that's a really iconic. Are you familiar with her?
I am.
Yeah.
Vaguely. It's like
the King Burger where you could have it your way, but don't get crazy.
Yeah, that was like my early YouTube for me.
Yeah. No, you could have a Coke. That's such a great character to play. I don't know why no one thought like, I'm gonna do Angela Johnson, because you could literally just go out with the straws in your hair, the yellow straws, and that classic red Burger King shirt, and just play Bon Qui Qui.
That name.
And they ask you a question, you're like, no, you can have whatever your answer is. No, you're gonna get this. I know you asked for this, but I'm not gonna give that to you. And then Rue like asks you if you're gonna answer, and you're like, dang, anything else? Anything else you want from me? It might not translate with Rue, but I think it would be funny regardless. Okay, so last one, Cynthia does Rachel Zoe.
Iconic.
Who did it better? Her or Laganja?
I forget Laganja did Rachel Zoe.
She did. And I know this because I am Rachel Zoe.
And it's funny because like you see the elements of Laganja's in hers.
Yeah.
But like it's synthesized.
It's synthesized and it's so much better.
Cause I'm choking on the synth. She does the sharp, like kind of robotic voice, but it's so like it's kind of like erratic and like I don't know, it's just so funny and like her energy is so it's so like now, but it's also
Yeah.
so like in outer space and airheaded. Like
Yes.
she like needs it yesterday, but she doesn't know what she needs, and like she doesn't know where she is, but she needs to get there now. Like I love the energy.
And I'm so sorry, but things are a bit bananas right now.
And yeah, one of the better like improver like bounce arounders as
Totally.
well. Which is funny because I feel like her character felt pretty constrained.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like she was able to play off of the environment well as well, like the fashion tape.
Yeah. She was very well in the moment and participating and playing, and then also had her fun scripted moments.
Yeah.
Like when she said, my intern, who I call Brad number 2, told me to tell you she already done, had hers. Bananas.
White women on Drag Race as judges.
Yes. Katy Perry.
Also, as a Cynthia Kiss apologist, it's just felt so good for her to finally have her flowers.
Yeah. I was so proud of her.
Because it was like episode 2. I remember watching in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 2, I was like, wow, I can't believe she was safe. Like, I was
Right.
still so Team Synth. Episode 3 came, I was like, before the lip sync happened, I was like, oh my gosh, she's about to go home right now.
Completely.
And no one is going to know who Cynthia Kiss is. And that's going to absolutely destroy me because she has so much more to offer. And this is not right. And she's going to go home right now. She's not going to be able to blossom. And then she did that great lip sync. And then next week, she did Rachel Zoe and won. Spoilers.
Hell yeah.
And that really just set me right. Because I was so concerned that she was going to go home episode 3. And I'm so glad that she got to do this the next episode.
Me too.
It was such a great turnaround. It was like felt vindication from episode 2, felt
Triumphant.
redemption from episode 3. Yeah, so it was a big moment for us Cynthia Kiss
The
stans.
synthesizers.
Yeah, I wonder if she has a pet name for her girls.
She's got to.
For her Katy cat.
Her Katy cats was so ridiculous. And our runway category for the Snatch Game is made in Canada.
Fun.
Did you like this?
I did.
I thought it was very reminiscent of the Made in Holland runway or something.
Yes.
Whatever that was, Double Dutch. Because, like, I feel like the interns always have, like, a bug up their butt about doing multiple of the same challenges. Like, we had the dual glamping this last year, of 2021 that we've been covering.
Yeah.
And then this year we get 2 things. Another from Holland from here. And I like that. These runways are good. I was a little bit confused at first, and then I realized that it was like riffing off of people.
I would love this to be a versus the world global all stars runway, like
Yes,
global red carpet, like stars around the world kind of vibe of like
Made in XXX or something.
Yeah, like do the biggest celebrity or do like a A-lister in your home country.
Yeah, and this is so fun as like a dual runway to Snatch Game.
Right,
where you're playing celebrities and now you're riffing off of someone that is in your universe that might not be maybe impersonatable. Yeah,
because we get a fun mix of like more like real, like kind of like realness impersonations. Yeah. We get like stylized, glamorous versions. We get like tributes. So it's a cool mix.
Did you have any standouts? I don't know if you wanted to talk about all of them, but
I hate, we have to draw the comparison one more time.
Okay.
I think this is one of the episodes where Gia is the most GG coded.
Yes.
Because if this Mike Myers look is not the most ridiculously GG good coded thing she's done all season,
the rumors will never cease.
Yeah, and it's funny because like knowing the rest of Gia's aesthetic, I don't know how Gia this is actually.
Right, this Mike Myers.
I love it. It's so fun. But it's just so funny because this, like, to me, I'm like, Gigi would wear this.
Oh, yeah, Gigi would totally wear this.
Or, it would do, like, a little dress maybe instead or something. But she even would do the bodysuit. But with those sleeves, like, her mom would make that for her.
It looks a lot like her entrance look.
Yes.
It's very Gigi coded.
Um, I'm also just obsessed with Sandra Oh being done twice, like, and by one of them not an Asian woman.
I thought
Like
the
shit,
same
I'm gonna do with
thing.
Sandra Oh too. Then damn,
Yeah, let's just all do Sandra Oh.
like
Night
I
of a
love
thousand
Sandra Oh. I'll
O's.
do her as Principal Gupta. Like, let's go.
You know what though? Can I say? I think she looks like Teal Nurse Joy.
Okay, 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 okay.
Okay,
Can
babe.
I say it's not giving
No,
because you're doing Sandra Oh in Grey's Anatomy. She's not a nurse in Grey's Anatomy,
and she doesn't
Is
have gray hair, right?
Isn't she a surgeon in Grey's
Yeah,
Anatomy?
she's like a big deal.
She's a big deal. This is
She's a
Scream
big deal.
Queens. This is Scream Queen season 2.
Yeah, it's totally. Wait, this is fully like if Jamie Lee Curtis decided to join the girls and help them out on the floor,
Because it's just
and not
giving
just die
me
of
like
Kuru.
I have this cunty mint outfit, which
Yes.
isn't even a nurse's outfit. I think she just you put the stethoscope on it because it's just a mint mini dress with a bolero.
Mm-hmm.
But she puts that little hat and stethoscope on it, and then suddenly it's giving nurse, and she's like, "Who's a nurse?" Sandra Oh. If Nurse Jackie was Canadian, she would have been doing her.
I love
Okay.
Stacey McKenzie.
I was gonna say actually, Stacey McKenzie's probably my highlight of the night. Her and Bird Woman. We'll get to her.
Yes, Bird
But
Woman.
I think the response from the panel to Stacey was so sweet. I love
Yeah.
Brooks. I miss you, Stacey.
I love Stacey McKenzie. I miss her all the time.
I mean, it's kind of sad because she probably packed it assuming Stacey would be there. But I think it is a gorgeous tribute to her.
Yeah.
Sounds like she's dead.
The only other one that I really loved was Pythia's. I mean,
Do you see this picture midair?
this Bird Woman is so psychotic. She's doing Catherine O'Hara as her character in Schitt's Creek, right?
Yes, Moira
Rose.
Rose because in the have you seen Schitt's Creek?
No, but I think I know what she's referencing.
Yeah, her character in the show, her big break is she's in The Crow.
Got it.
And like, yeah, she's like a crow woman, and that's like her big break allegedly.
And so Pythia was like, I'm going to take this and run with it.
And it's so good.
It's really glam. The hair is so fun. And I have to say, in comparison to Gia, who was told that her hair that looks very similarly styled to this was flat. And then Gia being like, I just don't understand. My hair's not flat. When you look at Pythia's, where it's like the size of her head, and then Gia's is not.
Wait, Gia? Do you mean
Not
Eve?
Gia. I'm so sorry.
Eve.
Eve. Sorry.
No,
Sorry,
you're good.
Gia. Didn't mean to talk about you like that. Eve. Her hair, objectively, compared to Pythia, was flat.
No, I see what you mean because Eve was doing it wasn't like slicked enough to be slicked because it was like slicked, but then it had a bump.
Yeah. Girl.
Girl.
You want a bump?
I will say, I know it's not who she was, but Cynthia was giving me like Gail Weathers. And I loved that. And that's all.
Yeah, hers was cute. And that was it. Our tops are Kimora, who I feel like they very hardly showed her. But she was great on the runway, I think. Cynthia, Pythia. And then our lows are Adriana, Suki, and Eve. And Cynthia wins the challenge. Totally agree with.
Yes.
Cynthia, apologist. I've now joined the club with you.
Yes.
And Suki and Eve are in the bottom. And Adriana was gagged. She thought she was gonna. I thought she was gonna cry.
Do you think she should have been in the bottom?
Yeah.
Instead of Bernie or Suki? I don't know why. Sorry, Eve.
Bernie or Suki. Honestly, Suki, because I feel like she hasn't really had her moment to break out, and I thought her performance as Yoko was genuinely funny, but it was too niche.
Yeah, I also would have loved to have seen what Suki did for Monochromatica.
Same. The lip sync song is Happiness, and Brad is grooving hard, but like I don't think the girls were grooving. Eve unzips her jacket to reveal her bodycon shapewear. And that bothered me
That was
so much.
crazy.
I'm like, Mama, I don't want to see all that. Put that away.
So I remember because there was a moment where I was fascinated by the song. I was trying to find it. I wonder if why they weren't into it is this is not like the original version of the song.
Oh.
It's like a cover.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. I looked this up. It's not the woman who sings the original song. And this version that they're doing on Drag Race, I can't find it on Spotify. The version of it on Spotify is different. I think this is the song. I'm pretty sure this is the song. So I was like, what is this? This is so strange. So maybe that's why they weren't into it, is because it'd be like if you were lip syncing to like the Party City version, like where it's, you know what I mean? Where
The
it's
Kids
like,
Bop one?
it's the other woman who kind of sounds like her singing to it.
Wasn't there something that happened in All Stars 9? It was one of the Georges lip syncs where whatever they were lip syncing to was clearly not the same one that was shown on air. Do you remember that?
Oh,
it was like at the midpoint of the
season. I already
season.
blocked out 9.
9 was so
hard.
blah. But I do remember there was one lip sync where I was like, this is so weird. It doesn't look like things are going on. And someone on Reddit deciphered that there was a different version of the song based off how they were lip syncing.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? Okay, so Suki is out, which I think is crazy because
R.I.P.
Eva's been such a little gnat in the workroom and just like kind of bothering everyone. But also, like, she was better objectively in the lip sync.
Yeah.
Episode 5 is Bye Flop. Bye Flop. Just because it's glitter don't mean it's gold. Bye Flop. It was actually, like, kind of a good one. I forgot about this.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I wrote in my notes, Suki is out. And remember when I thought she was Rita Baga in Canada versus the World 1? Because I think about that. The Room Mail is a Southern style video for Canadians, which totally makes sense. And this led me down into a deep rabbit hole where I must put on a tinfoil hat for a moment. Do you think Canada is secretly like a deep red state? Like a southern red state, and that's why the maple leaf is red?
Not that.
And that's why the song last season was Sorry About It, like a country boot? I saw your soul leave your body for a moment.
They're about to... Nope.
We're about to get a cease and desist. But I mean, I guess Shania is from Canada, and she's like heart and soul of country.
Maybe they can enjoy country in a way we are unable to because of our hatred of the honky tonk.
Maybe.
So maybe they just can enjoy it in a different way.
Maybe. You know, I do wish that there was a Shania song at the end of this episode, just based on the theme.
Yeah, I know. Biff was here for the wrong episode.
Totally.
Because I liked the song was fun, but it needed to be a different episode.
Could have been last week.
True.
That one would have been fun. So our mini is like a sex educator quick drag lesson on safe sex. And the only reason I bring up this mini is because Tracy comes in and announces it and tells them all that Trojan is sponsoring this XYZ. And my first thought was, knowing what Canada 3, 4, and 5 present, the pleasure of $100,000.
Yes.
This fully was Tracy making a negotiation with Trojan and was like, don't worry, we're going to sell it. We're going to get your brand out. And if we do this, I want you to sponsor the show.
And then Brooklyn's going to come out of a condom box every opening up.
Yes.
Every opening theme.
And I am willing so hard to bet those cameras went off and she was like, all right, ladies, you be fucking funny and interesting. Because if we flop this, we're not getting money. And you're all going to get money. Do it. And she was like, okay, I'm mother again.
We're going to get that cointada.
You're going to do the work, put on the dress, and go perform. Go. Because like she even is like, and don't forget that we have dildos and condoms and lube.
Crazy.
She was trying to push this so hard.
Be sure to go fuck yourself in the ass after this.
Completely. I thought Adriana as a nun was insane, and Gia's like fidget voice where she was like, condoms, love condoms.
This is all insane.
It was insane.
It was all so insane and dark-sided.
But I kind of lived for it. And after they finished this batshit mini challenge, their main is to do country pop girl groups to the song Bye Flop. And Cynthia and Gia are the team leaders. In order, Cynthia chooses Kendall, then Kimora, then Eve. and Gia picks Pythia, then Isis, and Adriana is last. And she's like plucky on it about it.
Yeah.
But she tries her best to not. I think we should move straight to the main challenge, but I do want to address the dinky 3 feet wide plate of glass on wheels between the queens and the person. Is this Naked that's helping them?
Biff Naked.
Is this them that's helping? I forget who was helping them with the song. I think
this little plexiglass platform, you mean? Yeah.
With all of the space around and above it. I'm so tired of this era pretending that they're being careful about COVID protections when they're all getting COVID tested daily in this era.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're sequestered and kicked the fuck out. And it's like, what is this little 3-foot plate of glass going to do? It's on wheels. What's that going to do? Who's that servicing?
I was just watching something recently. It's always funny watching something that was filmed in these years.
Yeah.
I watched something and they were literally like 2 feet apart from each other with like saran wrap between them, basically. I'm like, what is this?
What is this, mama?
Like,
yeah.
What illusion were we casting? Like, we were so
performative.
We were, because and that's the thing, is like, in hindsight, like what we thought was acceptable, like for the sake of moving forward, really wasn't acceptable at all for the sake of health and like safety. Right. But like, here we are.
Well, and they did this on Drag Race and Canada and pretty much all the international seasons that included the plexiglass while they're doing the deliberations. But then 3 seconds later, they would post on Instagram with all the judges like arms linked around, making out with each other for the promo photo. And it's like, you ain't fooling no one. Y'all just were standing 2 centimeters apart.
Literally.
Who is this servicing? This is not helping anyone. Okay, so Brooke looked great in the animal print. This lemon corset, I have to bring that up. Super
hot, yeah.
And I am once again reminded that Tracy does not have a wig budget. And I'm ready. The flyaways on this hair.
Yeah, her time hasn't come yet.
But also Amanda's wig next week is really bad too. It's really bad. Okay, so we have the Giddy Girls. And we've got Gia coming out saying, I'm the best you've ever had. Flatly. Like, I'm the best you ever had. And that didn't get auto-tuned at all.
Nope, they just let it be. She goes for it. She sang.
She did.
She sings her heart out.
Can I, again, share my truth, my tea?
Spill.
Isis is touted as being like one of the better songwriters. She's like very Mother Goosey. And this Jack be nimble, Jack be quick line, I had a visceral yuck reaction in the same way that I did to Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. All these girls have got to go. I'm like, Mama.
You're so brave for saying that.
I'm sorry. I know that's super unpopular and all of our listeners just clicked out.
No, because like if Alexis Michelle had her verse, people would be like, this stupid fucking bitch.
Yeah. If Alexis Michelle said, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, well, these girls have got to go.
I think that the slayage of Isis buffs her content in this regard a little more. Because I truly feel like if a queen who did not have the love that she had.
Or the clout.
Yeah. If Brita Filter.
Yes.
spit this verse out.
Jack me nimble, Jack me quick.
I think that she would get chewed. But maybe that's another problem.
Clock that tea. Anyway, I just had to share that because it really bothered me. Pythia saying like Wickedest Witch of the Wild West was really good. She ate up this group. She was like the standout for me. And then the Dozy Hose. Kendall being Femme Woody. What? Yep. You know, like when the girls pack things and you look at it and you think, Mama, what was the intention behind packing this? In the same way, who was it? Her? Someone had a banana during the mini. It was Gia. Gia packed a banana.
Why'd you bring a loaf of bread?
What was the intention behind bringing that? Were you like, this will be a backup in case I need it? this woody look. Sorry, I was really bothered by that. Cynthia's body movements were great. She was the only standout to me, but I didn't think anyone was bad in her group. I just thought she stood out.
I thought
more.
she had the best verse of the group, and I was very upset that she was in the bottom.
So I feel like this is such an old school drag race trope to punish the leader of the group.
Captain sinks with the ship unless Captain is the judge's favorite.
Yeah, thank you. But like, is it her fault that Eve couldn't pick up the choreo and kept looking at them like, oh,
Kendall
we're doing
had terrible rhythm? Like,
yes. Is that her fault? Is that Cynthia's fault? I don't think so.
Yeah, she's simplified it to a grapevine for them. to the up down the box clap or whatever. Like, I don't know. I feel like like, because you dumb it down for the group, you get the critique that, you know, you should have done more for the group.
Sure.
You try to up the choreo and you get the critique that, like, you're trying to upstage, or like you didn't like think about everyone's difficulty levels, whatever. Like, I just feel like, I don't know.
It was a little sus.
I thought she did great. And again, I'm an apologist, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But I loved her verse. I thought she slayed it, and she was the highlight of her song.
Yeah, I agree. So our runway for this episode is Monochromatica. Your favorite stuff. Chromatica shit. But only a couple people did Chromatica stuff. Yeah. I love that there was no overlap, leading me to continue to think Canada does like a check-in or something. Yeah. What did you like this category?
I loved this. I appreciated how much of a stickler Brooke was about this category.
It's kind of pink.
And even just like, it was futuristic pop princess. Like, because I don't remember who it was, but they like weren't really like futuristic.
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh, it was Kendall, I think. Because hers was more like modern, but she was like, it's supposed to be a futuristic pop princess.
And this is now. Yeah. She does that next week too. Brooke is like really in her hosting about these next couple runways.
Yeah. For me, my favorites are Gia and Pythia.
Okay. Yeah, I really, really loved Pythia's. I loved Gia's. I was okay about Adriana. Thought she was fine. Eve looked more cyborg than pop princess.
Yeah, she honestly looks like she looks like a healer in Marvel Rivals.
Mm-hmm. I like a lot of the ideas that Isis was going for. She almost looks like a Genshin Impact character, and this was many years before Genshin came out. Not that that's really like Future's pop princess, but it's giving more Future than anything.
Yeah.
I don't like the Betty Spaghetti hair.
Yeah.
I wish that was different, because if like I cover the head, this is exactly what I would think of. But also it's gold, so am I being more attentive to this look because it's an eye-catchy color?
I'm here for the idea of having like a crazy helmet. Mm-hmm. I just wish it was a different helmet. I agree.
Yeah. And then other than that, I mean, I really like a lot of what Kendall was doing. I think the feathers harmed the look a smidge. Just a smidge, but I mean, this saturation of yellow looks so good on her skin.
Yeah.
She looks beautiful.
Yeah. If the feathers were like PVC, it would have been futuristic.
Kimura was giving Ice Princess, not Pop Princess.
Yeah. Or futuristic.
No, or futuristic. Yeah, it was like fairy tale Ice Princess. Give us another version of Elsa.
Yeah.
I think Cynthia could have been great if she did not have the shorts.
She was giving athleisure of the future.
Yes.
Futuristic pop athleisure.
Futuristic dance video person.
Yeah, if it was like, if the ballet pink shorts and headband were different, I don't know. This one is a rough one.
It is. Gia's called safe, but then faked out and is told that she's actually the winner. That was rough.
That was also kind of hilarious,
wasn't it? But then she gives another main character speech.
I loved it.
I love how just delusional she is in this main character energy. She's like, I got to give a speech every week, and it won't bother anyone. It won't halt the show at all.
Right, and they're all like looking at each other. Brooke's like, come on, girl.
The song is I Love Myself Today. Again, I think it should have been Shania. And it's Eve and Cynthia, where Eve was kind of like going like Eve 600, not Eve 6000.
Wow.
And I think it was because of the bodysuit. I think it really hindered her movement.
She's probably like tight up in there.
She's probably all lubed up if that isn't lined with something.
Well, it looks like one of those ones where like it looks like you'd think it would be stretchy, and then you put it on and none of that fabric has any give, and it's like you feel like you lift your arm and the sleeve's gonna rip. Like, not in the sense that's ill-fitting, but it's one of those fabrics where it's like if I sit wrong it could rip because like this fabric does not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is stretchy.
It doesn't look like
but
it,
you know
though.
what I mean? Like the fabric with the like the stoned part of the fabric mixed with that plastic, it just looks like it's very like she's constantly having to like shift and stuff because like it just moves around if you try to like move your body.
And every time she moves, it sounds like Ella Vidae dragging her hand up her leg, and it's like,
yeah, it's gonna take 45 minutes to get off if you have to pee.
Yeah,
not the Ella Vidae drag.
But it's like painted on her body. It does look kind of
no, she looks so hot in it. I love the color on her.
Yeah,
I love her mug too. I don't think I mentioned I love how good her face looks.
She looks great this episode. She is eliminated, which I think made sense, but something interesting happened. Brooke said, please sashay away. Like, did they have to ask her multiple times? And that was the final cut? What?
Please, I'm begging you.
Please
sashay away. I need you to sashay away.
I don't think even Ruth's done that. Can't think of a time where there's been in addition to now sashay away. Because there wasn't even that. It was please instead of now. And I don't think Brooke's ever done that.
I've never needed you to sashay away more than right now.
I need you to get off my stage as quickly
Eve,
as
I'm begging
possible. You. Do not make me get on my hands and knees. Please get off of here. The final episode we'll be talking about is The Sinner's Ball.
Oh.
Which Adriana does ask why she was picked last. And Gia had probably the most legitimate, well-spoken, well-formulated answer where she's like, gosh, I mean, I was like thinking about you in the Rusical and how you weren't really a standout in that, so I thought you wouldn't be good in this girl group challenge. I wasn't trying to make you feel bad. I was just thinking competitively. And in my brain, I'm like, thank you. Thank you for not looking around the room and being like, oh, well, why didn't you pick her?
Yeah.
So that I can think about my answer. I honestly don't know. I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. Someone had to be last because that's such a cop-out answer. Just be honest. I saw you in another challenge. I didn't think you were good in that, so I didn't think you'd be good here. Sorry. It's not anything personal. It's a competition. I'm trying to win.
That's my opinion.
I thought that was lovely. A lot of girls I don't think have the self-awareness and the confidence to just stick to their decision. I think they second guess themselves way too much.
Yeah.
And think about the camera in front of them.
No, not just stand on business.
Right. What did you think about this painting mini challenge?
I love a creative mini challenge.
Like when they had to put the food on the pancakes?
But, yeah. But like, was it a twerk of art?
Twerk of art in 6?
But also, it was, but weren't they painting their inner saboteur?
They were painting their inner saboteur.
See, okay. That's when on paper starts sounding a little bit crazy.
Yes.
You're gonna create twerk art of your inner saboteur.
Yes.
That does sound like RuPaul.
Coded.
Something she would ask them to do, though.
Yes.
But it also sounds like AI, like something you would ask AI.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Would tell you to do this. I loved nothing more than Amanda Brugel just being offended by everything. Because I think it's... oh my God, who the heck was it? One of the girls like walks up as they're going to go present it. And they're like, hey, bitch. And she like jolts back like, what the fuck did they just say?
What did you call me?
What did you call me just now?
Okay, yes. And also that reminded me of... We already talked about the episode last week. But during the ghost lip sync, when Cynthia throws her belt,
Oh,
and Amanda's like, and she like puts her hands in front of her mouth, makes me laugh. Like, this woman has never seen a drag queen before.
no. I'm still convinced that when we talked about her in season 1, her and Tracy both came on the show for like a guest role. And they were like, I got to come back and see more of this. This is so fun.
Literally,
And
they're like,
Tracy was like full fag hag. Like, I love this. This is so great. I got to be here forever. And Amanda was like, I made a huge mistake.
Amanda's like, she goes to the club and she sees someone do cocaine, and then she's like, oh my God, I can't be here. This place is dark sided. It's fun.
Yes. And she's like, plus none of these girls can do a good Amanda Brugel.
They don't know me.
I loved Pythia stabbing her art piece, and Amanda immediately was like, oh, why? Even though the point was to destroy the paintings afterwards, she was so bothered. And the last standout from this was Kimura saying everyone's got a mean dick in them. And it cuts to Adriana going, a talking dick. That was the only good part about this was Adriana, but also just Amanda being totally offended by everything. Okay, look at that fuck ass bob. I know
Doesn't
you're
she
already
look
looking
at who?
at it. She looks crazy in that wig.
She looks like she's going to the jubilation. Like the way that the pixels are giving her no like discernible features.
Poor Amanda Brugel is listening right now and is so deeply offended at what we're saying.
She looks like, do it for me, Steve.
Yes. I'm so convinced that both her and Tracy shared a wig budget this season. Like, they got whatever Brooke didn't spend. She's like, okay, well, I'm getting $5,000 and I'm probably going to use 4 of it. So you can both have 1,000.
Because it's also giving like wigs made for a white woman that were repurposed.
Yes. And that looks like a hard front, too.
WWW white woman wigs.
Call WWW today for your white woman wigs. That's whitewomanwigs.com. Ding. We have a ball. We love a ball.
Love a ball.
It's the Sinner's Ball with Gigi Gorgeous.
Mother.
I was so
she
glad
looks
to see her.
so good. She looks like an angel. I love her.
So
She's so stunning. You could tell she seemed excited and like she was so hot.
yeah.
The judges panel in general, like, well, wait, no, but
Well,
her and Brooke look so good.
Yes. If you cut out Amanda from the photo.
I don't really like this rose gold tux on Brad either.
Oh, you don't like
It's
that?
before he's in his hot and slutty era.
True.
This is when he was still wearing suits all the time. Now he's like, I have pecs and I'm gonna wear sheer button ups.
Honestly, when he came out in that sheer button up, something changed in me, and I'm like, I think I'm attracted to Brad
He's dressing
Goreski.
more like the Javis now.
Yes.
On how they dress on Spain, which is like,
Pubes out.
yeah, slutty men, and I
Yeah.
love it.
I'm so into it.
Yes, because this is when he's still trying to. He dresses like Carson right now, where it's like
Yeah.
the stylist, like sharp dress role.
With the board shorts.
Hate it.
I hate that too.
But I love Brooke's rock and roll look.
Yeah, me too. She looked incredible.
She's literally dressing for sex, drugs, and rock and roll as well. Like I
Yeah.
love when she's on theme. She does on theme way more than Rue ever will.
Mhm.
And she usually, whenever she dresses on theme, eats the runway because this is
Yes.
the sex, drugs, and rock and roll look of the
That's
night for
the
me.
look with the cross earrings.
Yes, it's so good.
I loved that sort of blunt bob too, or the blunt bangs.
Yeah.
Those were so good. So our categories are sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Sex, drug, just a singular drug.
Sex, drug.
Sex, drug. Ugliest sin, their ugliest look, and 7 deadly sins.
I can't believe it took this long for us to do 7 Deadly Sins
Right?
runway.
Didn't you say they did another one in España?
I believe so. I
Which
believe
is so cool.
Oh yeah, she's coming.
That is very exciting. So let's talk about these boxes really quick before we get into the actual runway. So Isis gets to assign the boxes. She gives herself Wrath, which seems like a pretty good category to have.
Yeah.
She gives Cynthia Greed, Gia Sloth, and I'm going to divert really quick to tell you, Kendra Onyx, my drag sister, star of Dragula, Resurrection, and Titans 1, received Sloth for 7 Deadly Sins during a pageant that we were doing. I was eliminated, but I was still going and supporting.
Yeah.
She came out in this like long hair that touched the floor, this dress that looked filthy, and like these long giant nails that she had constructed. And when she was explaining it, because the judges didn't get it, she was like, I'm a sloth. Sloths don't bathe or trim or clean up. So my nails are long because I've never bothered to trim them, and my hair's touching the floor because I've been too lazy to ever cut it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what they're gonna do, and I feel like it didn't really get where it needed to go with poor Gia.
Oh.
Kendall gets pride, Adriana gets lust, Kimora gets envy, and Pythia gets gluttony.
What boxes would you want/not want?
I was going to ask you that too. Okay, I would not in any universe want envy.
Really?
I don't know what you would do with that. I if I think envy, I'm like, okay, I want what other people have. And I want their stuff. How do I translate that to a garment? I cannot wrap my brain around that. One that I would want would be either greed or lust. Because greed seems like pretty easy to just go out as the most opulent that you could ever have and just like be holding money and jewelry and like maybe like clenching onto it. And lust is just so like easy to just play hoe. What would you have wanted/not wanted?
So the only one I don't think I would want is pride.
Really?
I can't. I just couldn't understand an interpretation of pride.
So fair.
I probably wouldn't want wrath just for the energy of it.
Yeah.
And I honestly probably wouldn't want lust.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think lust is. I mean, you can maybe play with it, but I think it's like a pretty narrow path. So I think I'd probably want. Yeah, I think I'd want greed the most.
Okay.
I think from top to bottom, I'd probably, of the remaining four, do like greed, envy, gluttony, sloth.
Gluttony would be a really fun one too.
I think for greed, I've mentioned this before, but it was very much a turning point for me aesthetically. In Top Model, cycle 16, they had a crazy photo shoot.
Oh.
And it's one of my favorite photo shoots they've ever done. But basically, the idea was you're crazy for something. So one girl was crazy for makeup, and she just was like covered in like lipstick and like super overly cosmetic.
That's so fun.
So one girl, she was crazy for accessories. The final photo I honestly don't love, but the way she was styled is what I was obsessed with. Is they just put her in this heavy metal dress, and then she's wearing like 30 bracelets. She's wearing like 20 necklaces. The photo doesn't really show as well, but she was complaining because she's like weighed down with like a shit ton of jewelry.
She looks like she's got a lot of stuff on her.
Yeah, but it's like the idea of like a ring on every finger, like bracelets all the way up to your elbows, like 6 necklaces that like it covers you down to your belly button, like just like excess over excess, but like trimming it down. Like I'm very into that concept.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be fun.
That is really fun. And that could be done for greed too, just like covering every finger with every ring that you brought.
Yeah.
Everything you own.
Yeah.
That could be so fun.
I think for envy, it could be fun if you like maybe had a little excess fabric planned for your dress and you like get down, you see what Brooke's wearing, you like look at her and then you like start cutting fabric off your dress and like kind of like trying to make it look like hers or something.
Performance art.
Yeah. It's all about the performance, mama.
This is the performance-based competition.
Yeah. But otherwise, I feel like you probably would have to like incorporate some sort of like mirror.
Oh.
Like a mirrored dress of maybe like you're catching like other people's looks through your dress or like something. I don't know.
Oh, that could be really fun. Yeah, you have a better brain for that particular category because I thought about it the whole time during the runway, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell I would do for that.
That's me with pride. I feel like pride would be hard.
Pride is kind of a difficult one as well. Okay, so some quick highlights of what's going on before they get to the runway is that Cynthia is avoiding gold since she already did it on week 1, which I think is stupid.
It's been long enough.
It's been long enough. If they gave her gold fabric, she should use the gold fabric.
Also, you were safe. You weren't in the top.
Right. They probably don't even remember it anymore.
Yeah.
And even if they do, we just make the silhouette different.
Yeah.
And Kimora has leaves and lime green colors. And I have to ask you, because, I mean, you're a little more plugged in with this category. Do you associate this category with leaves, envy?
So my assumption is they went it started with green with envy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, well, the only green stuff we can find is plants. Someone's like, oh, well, like Garden of Eden, blah, blah, blah. That's what I'm thinking, but that doesn't really tie back well enough. I can see the idea of snake if you want to do like a Medusa, like envy,
Sure.
and then play with, like I said, the mirrors and the snakes. I don't know. But I don't think nature and envy necessarily are harmonious. And they tied in green with like green and nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that is on whoever edited that box.
I would agree. It seemed really weird.
I feel like they should have done like green like satins and stuff, because like to me, like with envy, like also I think it would have been fun to do like fake fabrics. So like not like real silk, like have like costume satin and have like velour instead of velvet.
That could have been fun.
And have like everything is like not what like the nice version, everything's like the knockoff, so it's like wishing to be as well. But I don't know. It was an interesting editing, because even that like dark fabric she used for the skirt, that like kind of like it's still like a florally kind of like, it's all very plant oriented.
Right. It's very strange because I don't associate that with nature at all. So let's move into these looks. What I think worked the last time we did a ball was we just looked at each one and ranked them by numbers. So let's do each one 1 to 7.
Okay.
And where you think they fall. So we'll
Okay.
start with Adriana. I'll let you start.
Oof. With the number or just like, okay, overall, I'll say,
And their position
yeah.
for you. Para you.
Para me, spooky me. 5.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the first 2 looks are really good. Like, she's giving rock and roll down.
The ugliest sin is a hoot.
It's everything. The last look is not well constructed.
Lust is exactly why I wouldn't want lust. Is like, it just, I don't want to just do like a slutty look, and I hate her breastplate in this.
Oh, it's so rotten.
She's got that Saphir Crystal, like
too high.
the tiny too close titties, like, and then like the low crotch with the pussy, like the flower like between her thighs, like right like on top of the garter belts. The proportions of it all are just a little crazy for me.
Yeah. I would have done like a sheer full like silk bathrobe, like 1950s style.
Yeah.
That had the peekaboos to everything. But like it wasn't totally there. Like you're giving the full tease, but you're not actually giving it to them. But yeah, I would agree. It's like a 4 for me because I think the first 2 looks were so good. Gia's, I did not like really anything in her package.
Really?
Am I crazy to say that I feel like a lot of the ugliest sin looks almost went more like Ookie Spooky Dragula gross? Because like I don't think this bubblegum look is ugly. I think it's actually very couture looking.
Yeah, I think
It's
this would have worked for a
gross.
different category.
Yeah.
Because I actually quite like the look, but I don't think it's ugly. It's
No.
gross. I agree. Yeah, the gum.
And that
And
sort
like,
of
I guess the hair in it is ugly, but like, I don't know.
it's gross too because there's gum in it. It's just nasty. to
It's
me.
a little too like, yeah, it is a little too conceptual and like fun for it to be ugly for me. But I love the look.
I like it, just not for this category. And the guitar was a little crunchy.
The guitar's a little goofy. It's a little doodle bops.
Doodle bops. And then the sloth look doesn't really give me sloth. It's unconventional bedsheet challenge.
I like the idea of like, I'm gonna stay in bed. I am the bed. I'm bringing my bed with me.
I've melded into it. This is a COVID storyline.
Yeah.
Sure. It's low safe for me. It's like 5.
I'm curious what other like materials they brought for sloth.
Oh,
Like in the box, but if it was all sleep, then like, she did what she did.
she did what needed to be done.
I do like her styling with like that slicked hair though.
Yes. That is very nice.
She does look quite hot. I wish that, I don't know if I would have liked it more if it wasn't like a robe. Like, I don't know, if it would have been cool if it was like almost something like more structured and couture, but it was out of bed sheets, or like she layered more and more bed sheets, so she was just surrounded in them.
The top half is really nice of this.
Yeah,
with
that
the cut
structure
of
with
it.
and that like kind of cowl she has.
Yeah, it's the bottom part that's giving a little Ivy Elise.
I would love, shit, if she like was able to construct, obviously time.
Sure.
This seemed more like a structured piece, which I appreciate, but I would have loved like a petticoat of different sheets and bedding.
Oh,
Like you're
yeah.
dragging the entire bed with you.
That would be so fun.
I think that could have amplified it just a wee bit, but that's just me opinion.
That's fair.
I know you don't love it. I'm giving her number 3.
Okay. See, that's what I would give our next contestant, Isis Couture. I would put her in the 3rd spot. I really like this Gem in the Holograms look. I think the same problem is with her Ugliest Sin look. It's gross to me. I don't think this looks ugly.
I mean, it's very like tacky.
Tacky is a great word. Yeah, I don't think it looks ugly though. The colors are really nice, and the lines of these squares are really nice.
And she's also serving it so cunty with like the scrunch waist, and it's like, oh, it's so fashion.
Yeah,
I do love it. I do love it.
I'm not a fan of the Wrath look.
Okay, I know this is their winning look. I don't love it.
I don't like it either. I get the Hellraiser reference, I believe is what she referenced for this.
Yeah.
I think the chains were such a fun idea, but I don't think there were enough of them. And that's a box issue. And then also the bare chest.
I think the makeup is Wrath and
Yes.
is killing it and is winning, but I don't think the neck down is anything I love.
No, I love the head. I think it could have been a lot grander in scale.
Yeah.
And maybe if this had looked more like the kind of typical BDSM girly mixed with like BDSM guys, so it's like a mix of genders. Because Isis talked about that
Yeah.
earlier in the season about not really feeling like either one, but didn't really identify necessarily as non-binary. They sort of just didn't really feel like either. So I like the idea of playing with gender, but I don't think this did enough of that.
Yeah.
And so I would put her at 3 because I thought it was good. It just wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. I feel it. I put her as 3.
And then we've got... Wait, you already used 3. Used 3 on...
Oh, shit. She's my number 2.
You're number 2. So then we've got Kendall.
Yes.
This is like 6 for me. This is so low. I don't like the first look. She looks more motocross than sex, drugs, rock and roll. I think the Ugliest Sin is, again, gross with the vomit on it. I don't think it's ugly at all. The silhouette is nice. The colors are nice. The hair is nice. And then for Pride, that could have been the Ugliest Sin look because that dress is ugly.
Woof.
It's boot.
When her boob comes out later.
Yes.
I liked her concept of like playing up her proportions for Pride. But it just looked ill constructing. Okay.
Yeah.
My thoughts, I love the neon dreads. I feel like it is made to go with that bodysuit, and she was like, yes. I would have loved if she had done more of like a what's his name? Slash from ZZ Top. The guy with the dreads and the top hat.
I'm looking right now.
But like a neon Slash. I don't know. For me, I think that's his name. Yeah, Slash from... Isn't he from ZZ Top? Not ZZ Top. What's he from? Guns N' Roses. Sorry, not... ZZ Top's the one where they all have beards. Guns N' Roses.
I'm Googling right now.
He has like a top hat.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like if she had done like Slash with like a top hat and glasses.
That would have been really cool.
Or something like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's like, it's rock and roll in like the 2020s rock and roll.
Yes, very much
like
so.
there's an electric guitar while like a woman's like on a pole, you know?
Totally.
But it's like, I wanted like that 70s, 80s, 90s rock more.
Good sex, drugs, rock and roll reference. Yeah.
You really clocked it. Everyone did gross.
They really did.
Why is she having turquoise vomit on her
Yeah.
dress? Also, the ketchup and mustard tights. Fascinating.
Plus, she like licks the cat and then spits up a hairball. It was gross.
Yeah, number 6
Yeah.
as well for me.
Then we've got Kimura, my number 1.
Really?
I am not even gonna lie for half a second. Her Tina Turner was so perfect for sex, drugs, rock and roll. Just like that exact reference point. Not that Tina Turner was like a drug sex addict or anything, but like that is who I think of when I think rock and roll. Like people
Yeah.
like Tina Turner. Plus,
Super fun.
I love that Kimura celebrates her blackness in such a beautiful and unapologetic way.
Yeah.
And doing this Tina Turner reference, maybe it could have been a little more elevated, but the reference point was perfect. This slavery look, it brought the runway to silence. They were all just breathing it in and allowing it to be what it was.
Yeah.
And it gave me so many chills, just this juxtaposition of celebrating her blackness, the look right before, and then calling a very real issue that is ugly. Slavery and racism is ugly.
Yeah.
And her presentation of it just brought me to tears. And then this envy look, knowing that she was given literal dog shit, like crap, like actual crap in her box, and she turned it into this. It's over. And then putting the envy in her hair to make sure that they knew, like, this is what it is. And, you know, I was given these leaves, but that's what I had to work with. It's envy. Don't get it confused.
Yeah.
I thought this was really fun. My number one, fully.
Slay. I do think the ugliest in look is definitely one of the strongest looks of the night.
Yeah.
Faux show.
Yeah. Where would you put her?
I think for me, she's gonna be my number 4.
Use 4.
On who?
You have one and I think you only have one left.
No, because I have one. Yeah, because I have 3.
That's right.
Yeah, I know who my number 1 is because I use.
You have 2. You have 1 and 2 left.
No, because two is Isis, 3 is
Okay.
Gia, 5 is Adriana, 6 is Kendall. Yeah, 4.
Okay.
4 for Kimora Mora.
I'm still here for that.
And then my number 1 is Pythia.
Yeah, she was my number 2 for me. This sex, drugs, and rock and roll look is really good.
Yeah.
Love the tattoo.
The wig is kind of crazy, but it's fun.
The wig is nuts.
The ugliest sin is my favorite.
It's so good.
Because I do think this is a more ugly.
This is ugly.
Because it's not like cute tacky like Isis.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is just like ugly.
Or even like Kendall as well, who is kind of fashion in its grossness.
Yeah, well, because also there's a mix of like primary colors and then like more pastel colors, the makeup, like the mismatchy of it all. Like it is quite ugly and I quite love it.
I do too. And then the gluttony look is just chef's kiss.
Yes, so
constructed
good.
Really well. And it is gross. Gluttony is disgusting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
As a sin.
Yeah, and she does it in such a cutesy way without being like, you know, gorging herself like, stuffed pig, but it is still very nasty.
I would agree.
But it also like the through line in terms of colors and aesthetics also feels like there's kind of something there this week.
And so we're giving bottom boot barrel to
number 7.
Cynthia.
Okay, what I will say for my girl as an apologist.
Sure.
One of my favorite sex, drugs, and rock and roll looks.
It's really fun.
I love this like groupie.
She looks like one.
To me, that this immediately is giving. She's the groupie. Like this is Amber. She's the most popular groupie.
She throws her panties on the stage every night.
Yeah, it's honestly one of my favorites of the group.
Yeah. Of sex, drugs, rock and roll. Hers
because
is very,
it
very
feels
good.
very like of a time, of an era, and like it doesn't feel like something like I don't know. Maybe she thrifted it, but it does feel like a little more like unique than other things she's brought.
This is one of the more unique things. This and her second look.
This second look, girl.
Why did she say, okay, it's supposed to be ugly, so let me bring out my most high fashion dress that I own.
But then also that wig, like I still couldn't with it though. I can't hold space for this look. I'm sorry.
I love though that the judges were like, and even in that blonde wig, you were too pretty for that bob. She was like, I know, I put it on thinking it'd be ugly, and my God, I'm too pretty for this. That was very main character standable moment.
Yeah, I loved that, but that wig was crazy.
Do you want to talk about the outfit that she made?
Girl.
Do you want to say anything about it? This is your girl. This is your diva. This is your moment.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
The hat is cute.
The hat is cute. I honestly feel like the jumpsuit she made in the first episode would have been stronger for Greed than this.
Completely. She should have just remade it and just been like, you know what? It is what it is.
I feel like if anything, she should have done all animal fiber and tried to do like a storyline with that.
Oh,
Because that could have been an interesting Greed of like, I just want it. I don't care. Like,
yeah.
the repercussions. Because then if it was all fur, all animal prints, whatever. But that gold, like the top that looks like the wrapper of like a truffle.
Like a chocolate truffle.
You know what I mean though? Like it looks
Yes.
like a little truffle wrapper.
Completely.
A little truffle wrapper tucked into this like the skirt, which is giving like blanket wrapped around the waist to give puss. And then the like animal print fez question mark.
It's all very suspicious looking.
So strange. Something dark happened here. Yeah.
Speaking of animal prints, do you remember in Top Model, I think it was like cycle maybe 8, maybe 7, there was that one cute ditzy girl who got animal cruelty as her political stance for the first one. And she was like, yeah, because they were like, what do you think about animal cruelty? She's like, yeah, I don't like agree with it at all, like using animals to make clothes. But like if an animal dies of natural causes, I'm okay with them putting it on, making it into a dress. And they're like, but that's not how it works. And she's like, but like, you know, like roadkill, like a coyote, like gets it hit by a car and like dies on the side of the road. I'd be okay with them making that. And they all just are looking at her like she's the stupidest girl in the world, because she is in that moment.
Roadkill couture.
Roadkill. Sure. I think about her often. She was brilliant. So then our bottom two are Cynthia and Kendall, with Isis winning. I disagree. I think it should have been either Pythia or Kimura. They were both much stronger, in my opinion. This may have been my first win that I was like, I don't know about all that so far in the season.
Well, especially it's hard because I don't. It's not my favorite sewn look either.
Yeah. Oh, what's sewing? There was chains glued to things.
Oh, that chain.
Oh, that chain. Oh, that chain fabric. The song.
Oh,
is,
that wrath.
The song is "Heaven" by DJ Sammy. Kendall rips her dress open to reveal that Barbie puss.
The Barbie puss with the slam and then the tit coming out.
In the name, in the words of Jasmine Masters, panties, bitch.
And then Cynthia takes her pants off.
Girl,
and
this
she's just in
was
the
a mess.
she's just in the truffle wrapper, no pants.
And black panties.
I struggle.
I struggled with both of them. It was yikes on bikes for this whole lip sync.
I love this song though. This is one of the songs
Yeah.
where it's like you hear like, wait, I know this song.
Yeah.
I'm finding it hard to believe we're in heaven.
It was a great song. It was very CUNT. If the outfits were better in a real world situation, this would have been a $10 performance. Like I would have gone to the ATM to get $15, 1 for the service fee, 10 for the girls, 4 for a beverage. And I would go up in ones and I'd very slowly like give them 1, 2, 3. Like I'm tendering. 5,
yeah.
6, 7. You're going to keep staying here. 8, 9. Last one. Take it. 10.
Methodical tipping. Methodical prolonged tipping.
Taking up space at the drag bar. Like this was a solid number for both of them. They were great.
No, yeah, they were putting up the energy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Cynthia's out. I'm sure you were devastated at this moment.
Yeah, this hurt. Well, it's hard because it's also, you know, what hurts more than like your fave being robbed is your fave going home and you feel like it can't even be justified.
Yeah.
It's almost more frustrating that you can't be mad. Like, oh, they were robbed. Just like, oh, my fave got taken out this week. And I can't even say it was the wrong choice.
It was like when Valentina got eliminated.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn, you didn't know the words. You shouldn't have gone home. But I mean, there's no way to justify any other route that you could have stayed.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
Yeah. It's one of those where it's like, it's not like you disagree. You just are sad about it.
Yeah, that's how I feel as well. This was an interesting string of episodes, and I really liked it. I'm curious where the last 4 are gonna go because I don't really remember a lot.
Girl, have you watched the next episode yet?
No, I maybe I did when it first came out, but I don't remember it. You keep talking about this crow. You've been ominously talking about this crow.
Yeah, and it wasn't this crow. It wasn't Birdwoman Pythia.
Okay, she was in that bird outfit, and I'm like, is Pythia gonna be in the bottom too, or something?
You're like, what's about to happen? No.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on with this lip sync and a crow? Like, what is happening? And then she wasn't, and I thought, okay, so something else is gonna happen, but I don't know what. I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is kind of breaking the illusion a little bit, but right now, when we're recording, next week, or no, in 4 days for us, someone's getting crowned on Canada 5.
Wow.
And it's going to be so interesting if Michaela wins, because in our timeline, she'll be winning. And in the recording timeline, Isis will be winning.
Wow. Do you want to lock in a final bet?
Yeah, let's do it. We won't find out for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to put my bets on Minnie.
Yeah.
I'm hedging them there.
So I already told you before we recorded that I am Team Helena.
Right.
As of this time, because I was Team Perla.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just can't pick them this season, but
yeah.
I was rooting for Perla so ridiculously fiercely, and I was heartbroken. But Helena's really emerged as a fave.
Totally.
And I know that we usually don't crown late bloomers, but I honestly really appreciate Helena's energy, and I think she's really cool.
Yeah.
That being said, I really think, yes, between Minnie and Virgo.
Do you not think Michaela will win?
I don't think they're going to crown Michaela. I just don't see it.
TS's comment about her being superficially confident was like, oh my God. Like, they kept that in the edit.
I also think her fight with Xana is not like a great look for a winner. Just because that was like kind of a rough moment for everyone.
I totally understand her frustration, but I hear what you're saying, because that usually doesn't happen.
Because, yeah, like, I agree that I get her frustration as much as I kind of love her going off. Like, I know if it was, like, RuPaul, like, I know, like, if they saw a clip of her, like, calling her small, whatever, like, I know they wouldn't love that.
Right.
And I totally, like, I get it. Like, we all say things when we're upset and we're, like, going through it. And, like, that was a extremely entertaining, wonderful TV moment.
Totally.
But I also know, like, in the grand scale of things, like, I know that our words have impact. I know that wasn't a very becoming thing for like a winner to say.
Yeah, I mean, Evie had that fight with Vanjie, but that was in mid-season, and that was resolved pretty quickly. Yeah, and it wasn't ever. But really
even then, I feel like she didn't say anything like that to Vanjie. Like, right. I don't think she really said anything to the girls to like as people.
Right. It was always about their trajectory in the competition. Like, she was specifically commenting that Evie was not doing what the judges were saying. Yeah. It was a very different kind of fight. Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
But then also, like, they never had super personal fights. And again, in this context, this was a very personal fight 100%. And moment, which led to personal comments. So I'm not saying, like, fuck Michaela, because I fucking live for Michaela.
Yeah.
And I was living for that moment, and her in that yellow dress.
It was split in the back.
It was so funny because she's like mad, like auntie in that dress, like doing the like waddle because like of the way that you like walk in that. Yeah. It was everything to me.
And then coming back with that finger point, like, no, you are not going to talk to me like that. It was everything. But I do hear what you're saying, because that isn't normally a winner trajectory. Yeah. Plus, like, them putting her in the bottom this last challenge made no sense to me. Girl. She looked so good on the runway. Yeah, that should have saved her.
I was also confused. I thought that was strange. Yeah. Because they want to put Virgo in the bottom for 3.
Because then they can't crown her next week if they want to. But, I mean, she's kind of getting a little bit of a Venus route. Because Venus won the first challenge, right?
But didn't Venus lip sync twice? Or am I making that up? No, she didn't lip sync at all.
No, she never lip synced.
No, I'm trying to think, who's the last winner to lip sync twice?
In Canada or in general? Okay, hold on. I'm going through my brain. Simone. Simone in the more recent timeline.
Yeah.
I don't think Sasha ever bottom, but she lip synced in the Lollapalooza, which is, it's kind of up in the air on what that is as an assignment. Willow, I don't think Willow only lip synced one time against Camden at the end, and then obviously none in the All Stars. And I'm not as familiar with the internationals, but Paranka lip sync like 3 times.
So
Maybe only
okay,
twice.
true. Paranka did lip sync twice, so it's not like it's unheard of for Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like there's still like the way that Virgo's edit has been so like
Mm-hmm.
she is someone.
This is the girl we want to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the way that like Minnie's feels a little more goofy sometimes, where I'm like, is she gonna win?
Yeah.
Like she just feels like comic relief.
Totally.
So I'm gonna lock in that. I still think they're gonna crown Virgo because after
Okay.
the first couple of episodes, I felt like they had that boner for Virgo,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like the boner went away.
I would agree.
I think the boner's still there.
The boner is still pretty hard. They took the Viagra before they popped it.
Sex, drug, and rock and roll.
Sex, drug, singular drug. And Virgo, who's not a Virgo.
Was she joking when she says she was a Scorpio?
I hope she
I was
was
drinking
joking.
dumb bitch juice and I wasn't like fully listening. I was like,
It also was a bad challenge.
Watch What Happens Live isn't the best show.
And that was a bad semifinal challenge.
Also, Watch What Happens Live only has 2 guests usually. I think it's the reason.
Yeah. Well, and who at World of Wonder has a bug up their butt about this semifinal talk show challenge? Because they did it in Thailand, and someone in my comments said that they did it in UK 6, which I know you didn't watch
No,
either.
I did tap out.
We both fell off of that one. Yeah. So it'll be interesting next week, finding out who wins in Canada 5 and then covering the winner of Canada 2.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a double couture.
It would be the first time that would ever happen, right? Other than, family. Other than maybe Aquaria.
Yeah.
I can't think.
Shaquaria.
We don't really talk about the other one,
Wait,
but.
aren't Evie and Willow?
Oh, that's right. Evie and Willow also are. Are they mother-daughter or are they sisters?
I can't remember. They might be sisters.
I don't remember whatsoever.
But that's interesting.
Isn't it? It's very, very interesting. But thank you all for listening and tuning in. We will chat with you next week as we finish up Canada's Drag Race. And then we're moving into Italia and we will finally be out of 2021.
Ooh, thank God.
Thank God we're finally out of there. It feels like we're getting closer, but we're also getting so far away as more seasons continue as we rake through these.
I am like prepared for Italia, but also not prepared because I don't even know what I'm going to say about that season.
That's so fair. Is that the one with the vampire and the blood runway?
I think that's the season following. Or no,
Okay.
is that for Rita? I have to look at the girls again.
Okay.
I think that's season 2.
I'm excited in my own way for that. But yeah, we will chat with you next week. Remember, you're doing a great job. You're doing the best you can, and that is all you can do. Goodbye.
Bye.